Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another commentary track brought to you by Not the Best Media. My name's David.
I'm Ivan.
And in today's episode, we are going to. What are we doing? We're recording Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
One of our favorite guilty pleasures, I think, would be a good way to put it. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd definitely say put it that way.
Yes. Off the top, I'd like to apologize. I'm a little bit sick. If I'm sneezing or wheezing or sniffling, then I blame Ivan. And,
I'd like to also apologize for something off the top. I'm sorry I have a horrible host like David. I wish I can do better, but
we're not the best, and that's what we're going to deal with. Now my stomach is rumbling, Ivan. Fuck. Should have ate a little bit. Doesn't matter. We're going to push on through. For those keeping sync, we are around the 33-second mark. Basically, we have the word kaiju up on the screen. It's in green letters. We're about to get definitions, I think. Ivan, are you good to go?
C.
All right, let's start this bad boy. 3, 2, 1, play. It's playing. Kaiju, Ivan, in Japanese means giant beast, Ivan.
Jaeger, David, in German, means you a bitch.
How specific, like how awesome would that be if specifically in German they had a word for David is a bitch?
It'd be pretty cool.
Isn't Germany, aren't they the ones, they have a bunch of compound words that you put together?
Yeah. They have like a word that like, it's the word of the pleasure you get from seeing somebody else fail or get in pain.
That's amazing. Like how specific that language really gets. That's awesome. Like they have words that describe feelings of thoughts and shit like that. Isn't that badass?
Yeah. So why are we doing Pacific Rim, David?
Because we want to learn German. No, because Pacific Rim Uprising's in theaters right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Currently. We have both seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have neither discussed our opinions on the movie to each other. And we figured this would be the best way to do exactly that, of which I am speaking. And that's what we're doing. Currently. As we speak. I think I have the general consensus that Ivan enjoyed it. Ivan does not have my general consensus.
Okay. I mean, should we start or
with my general feelings?
Yeah.
How should we start? Should we like? I think we should go all spoilers just so we can talk the shit out of it. So if you haven't seen Pacific Rim Uprising, go ahead and see it or not see it. It doesn't matter. Do what you're gonna do. But we are gonna talk full spoilers.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that we're pretty much a spoiler cast for the most part.
Yeah. We're basically only watching Pacific Rim so that we can spoil Pacific Rim Uprising to each other. So, with that in mind, continue on at your own discretion.
All right.
So I was disappointed. That was my general feelings on.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. For me, I wholly know that this movie is absolute garbage. Like, I know this is like the most cliche piece of shit ever, but I can't help but fucking love it.
I didn't love it. Wanted to. Didn't.
Okay. What were some of your issues?
First, I guess let's break it down into categories, and let's start by talking about the overall story. So the story is 10 years after the events of the first one,
yes.
Right? The Kaiju War has long been over.
Humanity's rebuilding.
Right. They're all recovering. They're okay. The Jaeger project still exists, though.
Yes.
And someone who used to be a pilot but is no longer a pilot is the son of Pentecost. I think his name's Jake.
Mm-hmm.
played by John Boyega.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mysterious Jaeger on the loose, a mysterious Jaeger pilot, and then shenanigans ensue. Right? That's a pretty good summation of the story.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? The story, just in a general sense.
I get it. It was hard to kind of like figure out a story because they had no mention at all of John Boyega's character.
None. He's not referenced. He's not alluded to. He doesn't exist in this first movie.
Yeah. So, and I get it. It was probably hard to try to come back and like write a story, and especially because what's his name wouldn't want to be in it. Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, I think he had other contractual obligations or whatever.
It was okay. I mean, I had an issue with the female character.
The little girl?
Yeah.
Whose name I forget?
Yeah.
I forget her actual name. I think the actor's name is Kayleen Spacey or something like that. I see. It's a Pacific Rim. Its story is very simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's giant monsters. Let's punch them in the face with giant robots. That's the whole story. That's as simple as it gets. And I know you can't kind of recapture that simplicity. And I get that the director was trying to make it a little bit more complex than that. He added in a mystery element. Who is this Jaeger pilot, and where does he, she, or it come from? And then there's another kind of subplot involving droned Jaegers. Oh, should Jaegers be droned? Blah, blah, blah. And then those three stories kind of meet somewhere in the middle of the movie. And I just didn't care. I don't know. I
felt like it was so predictable.
It definitely was.
Like when they're arguing about like the drone Jaeger program, it's like drones can be hacked, and it's like immediately like, oh, they're gonna get hacked and they're gonna fight them,
and then it's like, well, who's doing it? And then the person behind it, it's revealed they have something in their bedroom, and it's like, oh, that's where this is going, and it's like that's exactly where it went. It was weird because it tried to be more complicated, but it was still just as easily predictable. And I don't know. I respect that the filmmakers wanted to try doing something a little bit more complicated. I just think that it didn't need to be. And in doing so, the story kind of came across to me as being convoluted.
Okay. You think they should have just stuck with giant robots punching giant monsters there?
I don't know if they needed to. Because, again, I understand. With a sequel, I would have wanted a little bit more depth. I get that. I just think maybe specifically what they went for wasn't executed, or it didn't resonate with me as well as they wanted it to.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, there was a lot of, I guess, like plot holes that really irked me a little bit.
Like what specifically?
Like, okay, I know they mentioned that, like, or where did the Jaeger come from? It came from Charlie Day's character, because we're doing spoiler cast, right? It came from Charlie Day's character with the help of, like, the kaiju brain that he was, like, mind melding with.
Yes.
How?
Who cares? What do you mean?
How did he build the giant Jaeger?
With the help of the kaiju's brain.
So like nobody would have noticed the giant Jaeger being built. So where did he get all the supplies and? Also, like the finishing move was very reminiscent of the finishing move in this movie.
Yeah. Which
I was kind of like, that's cool, but I kind of like, I want something else that was pretty neato, you know.
Yeah, no, I see. See, for me, I guess maybe I did just want monsters punching robots in the face, because as soon as the mystery was solved, there's no more mystery. The droned Jaegers, That's no more. We have Jaegers fighting Jaegers and Jaegers fighting kaiju. I was like, yes, let's go.
Yeah.
It was like half an hour of nonstop punching in the face, and I was 100% on board.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe, yeah, that's just more or less what I wanted. I don't know.
I'm really surprised they didn't like do a specific scene in the movie. There's a specific scene where they're talking about like how one of the pilots had like a massive like honor guard or something after they died. And I think like the recruits were talking. They're like, oh, you know, if you died, I give you like maybe one Jaeger or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then like that same kid dies. And I was just like, oh, I thought they would have showed him like.
Oh, they would have shown it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Had like a touching, heartfelt moment where everybody's like, oh, here's 21 Jaegers.
There's not a lot of touching, heartfelt moments, but I'll get to that later. I'll say we'll talk a little bit more about the characters specifically after generalizing the story.
Before we go with it, since we're doing the overall arcing of the thing, how did you feel about the kaiju fights and the Jaeger fights?
The fights themselves, fucking awesome. They were like, it was insane. Fucking the kaiju can morph together and feel like they can repair themselves. And the Jaegers, they have new weapons. They got a gravity thing. They got a what's the actual term for the real weapon that you swirl around?
Whip?
No, like the one with
mace.
like a chain at the end. A mace, yeah. And one of them had a giant ass fucking mace. Like, that was awesome. The fights, I was on board 100%. Based on the trailers, I wasn't sure I would like the designs of the new Jaegers.
Mm-hmm.
Because it basically just looked like Gypsy Danger 2.0.
No, there was one of them. Yeah, it was Gypsy Danger 2.0. It literally said
Gypsy Avenger, I think it's called. But I was like, whatever. It doesn't look as. But no, I actually liked it. It was okay. I understood. It was sleeker. It was newer.
Dude, I bought it. The fast orange Jaeger looked like a Spectre from Titanfall.
It totally did. There's a lot of. I wonder if they picked up like designs from other things. I don't know. I really liked the designs of the Jaegers. Conversely, I didn't care much, or at least the kaiju didn't feel as memorable as they were in this film. Like, I can vaguely remember how the kaiju looked in this. Like, there's a crab one. There was the one that can fly. There's the giant hammerhead one.
Okay.
In the new film, they're just kind of monster looking. Like,
yeah.
I can't pick out how they look in my brain.
Okay, I can see that. I don't know. I feel like I wish the drone kaiju Jaeger hybrids were more utilized.
I agree.
Because
when that second one comes out, I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. Like I thought they were gonna have like just like wave after wave of them coming, and they're like a survival, like how are we gonna win or some shit. But
yeah,
no, it was kind of like, oh, I hacked them, they all blew up, we're Gucci, we're good.
That's it. You should be fine.
Oh, there's just 3 kaijus. Let's go.
There was a point in which I was fearful that there wasn't even gonna be a kaiju in the goddamn movie. The first kaiju doesn't show up until an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
Like, we're barely 13 minutes in to this film. We're already like in our first fight. We're learning things about the character. He's losing his brother, and it's during a fight, and it's showing you like the weight of the situation, the gravity of the situation. Like, it's important. We have one of our most elite fighters, and they can't do it. It's our biggest kaiju to date.
Yeah.
It takes a whole fucking hour to get to the first kaiju in Uprising.
Do you feel like it pays off more though?
No.
No.
Personally, like, because I wanted to see giant fights. So that's what I wanted to see. And taking so long to get there, I didn't feel like it was rewarding enough.
I'm sorry. I'm watching this real quick.
It's an awesome fight. See, that's what I'm talking about. The fight is fucking fantastic. And
I
there was
might
never
actually like not even lying. I might after we were done recording, I might just rewatch this on my own.
just watch this movie. It's
Yeah.
playing right now, currently on FX as we record. Just
Fuck! I love me some giant kaiju's and Jaegers.
yeah. See, the fights were awesome in this movie, and
It's okay, dude, because you don't have to worry about that for the next movie, because they're gonna take the fight to them.
to them, cut black screen. It's not gonna happen. It might happen.
Yeah, I swear, I hope it happens.
I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. I enjoyed it enough, whereas if they make a next one, I will see it. I'll definitely see it.
Ah,
I don't know if it's gonna make enough money to warrant the studio greenlighting a sequel. Because remember, this movie didn't make a lot of money. They weren't even sure if they wanted to make a sequel to begin with.
okay.
So if the new movie Uprising doesn't make a lot of money, then franchise done.
Here's my thing. I feel like it will make not a lot, but enough money for a sequel.
Let me look up the budgets. Go ahead, talk. I'm gonna look up the
Because I mean, here's a few different things. One, like, I feel like we're in the prime, or maybe a little bit past the prime of like giant robot bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if fucking Transformers had like 18 movies, I feel like this can easily pull off another one.
But
Second of all, John Boyega. I feel like John Boyega's gonna be a big draw into the movie.
that's true. But here's the thing. So, Pacific Rim made most of its money overseas. So this all depends on how much money it's gonna make internationally. Same thing with Transformers. Interestingly enough, Transformers, they make like 150 mil, 200 million domestically, but they make like a fucking $1 billion elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's strange. So Pacific Rim costed $180 million to make,
Okay.
which is really fucking up there.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's not accounting for marketing and those expenses. It made only 400 million worldwide. So it probably made its money back. Maybe there's a little margin of profit there. Uprising actually cost less money. It actually cost $150 million to make. And as of right now, has made 50 million worldwide. And domestically, it looks like it's going to be the number one at the box office, finally dethroning Black Panther. So it looks like it's going to fare decent.
It's gonna make it. Yeah. Honestly, dude, I think you'll make enough to warrant a second sequel. I honestly do.
Here's the issues it's facing. A little Spielberg movie comes out next week, and a little Avengers movie is coming out pretty soon. And it's going to have to deal with that. Because Avengers comes out worldwide everywhere on the same day.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's
here's the thing.
really going to hurt it.
Honestly, and you said it earlier, I think that where this movie shines is in the international market. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
And I honestly feel like the international market would prefer to watch this over, Ready Player One. Avengers,
Ready Player One, maybe, yeah.
I don't know about the event. Honestly, I don't know how well, Avengers or Marvel movies in general fare over in, Asian
They
countries.
do really well. They do. I mean, it's been 10 years they've been dealing with these movies. They fare pretty well.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. I feel like this is going to have a decent enough run in the Pacific, specifically the oceanic, Pacific market.
Sure. I mean, this movie, in general, was based off of anime and
Yeah.
and other foreign what's the right word, properties. So I can see that. They love giant monster fights overseas for some reason.
I mean, honestly, man, I love this, and I'm really upset because this is the giant robot movie I wanted. This is the giant robot series I wanted, not Transformers.
Right. They're much better than Transformers movies. They're leaps and bounds and miles and light years ahead of Transformers.
Yeah.
For an original property, that's pretty damn impressive. And I agree with this. This is the giant, dumb, stupid action robot movie that I didn't know I needed. And it's awesome. And I guess I just expected a little bit more out of the sequel.
Okay.
But I acknowledge I don't necessarily think it's a bad movie. I just think it's a disappointing sequel to me.
Okay. I think it's because we expected two different things. And I think a lot of people expect different things out of this movie.
For sure, yeah.
Me, I honestly came into this movie just wanting to see, like, fights.
Yeah.
And I got them, and there wasn't as many as I hoped there was, but what I did get, I was very happy, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, when we got to the fights, I was like, finally, here we go. But all the build up for it, I just didn't care for. I didn't care for the mystery, the drones, or whatever. I was locked into the first 10 minutes. When John Boyega, he's kind of a criminal and he's stealing stuff and he runs into the little kid and little kids making a Jaeger. I thought all that stuff was interesting, like the criminal underworld.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, people are selling and operating unregistered Jaegers. Like that's really cool.
That part actually scared me.
Why?
They went way too cartoonish for me in that taste.
The way I felt was like I was watching a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah.
But I kind of felt that was a good thing, but I can see what you're saying. It's cuz it's weird cuz it's kind of a cartoony franchise.
Yeah. It's like you're trading like kaiju blood for Captain Crunch.
Yeah. I guess I liked that it was cartoony. Because I wanted it to be simple, I guess. So coming across as a little bit more cartoony in the first 10 minutes was okay with me. And I just thought the concepts in general were interesting. Just the concept of a world that was recovering or seeming to do okay after a post-apocalypse already. The concepts of stealing Jaegers in general, I thought was interesting. The criminal underworld aspect to it.
Okay.
But then they didn't really go anywhere with that. You know, like the world... I wish the world was more fleshed out. I think the sequel is like the perfect opportunity to flesh out the world even further, and I just didn't get a good sense of where the world was at.
Yeah.
I thought the first 10 minutes was kind of leading up to that, but then it didn't.
Yeah. Okay, I can feel that.
Yeah, so like you can kind of feel this world in this movie where we're at. So Charlie Hunnam doesn't want to do it anymore. There's people who are they're dying by like the hundreds of millions or whatever the actual number is. People are starving for work. You know, sometimes they get denied just to work on the giant wall, or they're getting paid, you know, silly wages. You can feel it, you know. Everything has a weight to it.
Yeah.
And in the new movie, I didn't kind of get that sense.
I mean, it's not
like,
perfect.
yeah, we're partying, we're at raves, in a kaiju bone structure. Like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Let's do more with that. And then they didn't. Anything else story-wise you want to talk about before getting more into characters? A little bit more specifically.
What about like technical stuff? Are we breaking that down to like a different section?
Yeah, I'd say we can do that a little bit later.
Okay. Story-wise,
I didn't care for the reveal of the kaiju, the evil kaiju. I guess it's hard to say if what happens with Charlie Day is more of a character thing or more of a story thing. The reveal of the evil kaiju kind of taking over Charlie Day, I did not care for at all. I did not care for that at all.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that was done very sloppily.
Sloppily.
I feel like it was pretty sloppy, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know. I felt a little weird with the whole child soldier thing for a second, too.
I was gonna fucking say that. I swear to God, I was gonna say that.
It's just like, yeah, it's cool, the war's over, but you're like 12 years old, you're a fucking soldier now. Let's go fight. And shit, you're dead.
I was gonna. So this is a point I brought up in my official review, which isn't out as of yet. Would the government really allow kids and teenagers to operate their most expensive pieces of war equipment?
Now, okay, here's this, though. Like, what they were saying is that they were looking for drift-compatible people. And I guess, like, there's only very few people that are actually drift-compatible with, like, I guess the Jaegers, let alone with other people. So, maybe the teenagers are, like, all they could really get.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Okay.
We saw Jaeger pilots that were fully grown adults in this movie. You can throw any excuse you want at me, but what it comes down to is that the writers chose to write it that way, and I didn't care for that.
Oh, okay, I see that.
Just the idea of kid pilots in general just didn't work on me.
I don't know. I can kind of see it both ways, where it's like, yeah, it's pretty shitty, but at the same time, it's also like, man, it's pretty fucked up how things are. Where we have children,
and we're just sending them off.
It reminds me of like Neon Genesis, honestly.
Was this based off Neon Genesis?
No, I don't. I can see I can see the similarities.
The story elements, kinda? Yeah.
I can definitely see similarities, like, really easily. But
were there giant robots in that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's giant robots and giant monsters / aliens / angels. And
were they real angels, or were they just called angels?
Dude, there's a whole big... Neon Genesis is something I can't even start to, like... I don't even get it. And
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good, but like I don't, dude. It's too much. It's way too fucking much. Like the backstory and the lore. Like, oh my god, it's like Adam and Eve were like different like seeds that were planted, and like one planet has like an Adam and one planet has an Eve, and
what?
Yeah, dude. Like
so this goes way back.
Like having an Eve, like if you got like an Eve seed planted on your planet. It's like you get humans. If you get an Adam, you get like the giant monster aliens called angels.
What?
And if they touch, like shit blows up and like, oh my god.
That's insane. Do you recommend it? Should I watch it?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely check it out.
Is how many episodes are
there? So here's the thing. There's a bunch of different ones. You have the original series, which I think it was like 20-something episodes, but the cool thing about that, it's like a fun little thing, is right at the end of the series, like the studio was like, bro, this shit's way too weird, we're just not going to fund this anymore.
Damn.
So like the last 2 episodes are basically like still pictures and people just talking over them, with like very few animations. Shitty. And like just a bunch of like flashbacks.
Yeah.
Then they remade it into movies. Called like the End of Evangelion or something like that.
Yeah.
Then those were pretty decent. It was like 2 movies. It was 1 movie or 2 movies. I can't remember. They pretty much just like do a retelling with like updated animation. I feel like, and just like a better storyline, slightly different. Then you have the End of Evangelion, which is another set of 4 movies: 1.1, 2.2, 3.3, 4.4. The first 2 basically tell the story up until this point, up to like the movie, except we see the addition of 1 brand new character which is never seen before. Then 3.3 just kind of goes off the deep end and does like a continuation of something completely different, like an alternate universe.
Jesus Christ.
And then 4.4 hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
But basically,
Was 3.3 recent, or was any of these like more recent, like in the past few years?
yeah, I'd say definitely was in the past. For sure, was in the past decade. Definitely was in the past 5 years.
Yeah,
Let me.
I remember seeing like when it came out, and I remember it was a thing, but I never watched it.
Let me look up real quick when 3.3 came out. But yeah, man, if you like giant like kaiju fights and like shit like that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch it.
Release date was in 2012 for 3.3.
Okay, okay. When are they planning on releasing the next one?
I don't know. It's actually been kind of weird where it's just like nobody really knows. I think there's a bunch of delays. I think this series is called The Rebuild of Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
The first one came out in 07, then 09, then 2012. And this one's still just like, hey, what's going on?
Might check that out eventually. You haven't led me astray yet, possibly. You got me on FLCL.
Yeah. Oh, apparently
awesome.
it got delayed for a while. Cause I guess like the studio or someone or the director had like some work with Shin Godzilla.
Oh, okay. That Netflix one?
Yeah.
Or no, not Shin Godzilla. That's the
movie.
Shin Godzilla was the Japanese movie.
Yeah.
Not the Netflix animation one.
No,
Right?
no. Yeah, Japanese movie back in 2016.
Right.
But Evangelion, man, is a fucking Christ, dude. It's so. Yeah, man. Look. Let me actually look up how many fucking things there are about Neon Genesis, because there's a fuck ton of movies. You have the original anime series, which ran for 26 episodes.
Not bad. Not bad.
Then you had the 2 movies, Death and Rebirth, which were 2 parts, I believe. No, that was just a 1-part movie. That was basically like a re-summary.
Okay. Of the series?
I think so. Okay, yeah. Then you have End of Evangelion, which is basically like the finale of the movie that came out like literally a few months before from Death and Rebirth. So technically, Death and Rebirth and the End of Evangelion are one movie, but just like everything up to the end. Then the end has like a 45-minute like ending.
Okay.
Then you have the Rebuild of Evangelion series, which is 1.1, or 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0, which I'm not sure if that's actually going to come out anymore.
That doesn't sound too bad. It seems doable.
Yeah. Then you have the scene where he jerks off onto a comatose girl. Where he jerks off.
Just avoid that.
No, it's fine.
I mean, that out of context. That sounds really bad.
Yeah, it does. In context, it's pretty bad too. Like he has a moment where like he just.
I can't imagine a world in which that is the right thing to do.
He like looks at his jism hand and he's just like, "What the fuck is wrong with me?"
I would hope so. You know what? I would hope none of that. That none of that had to happen. I don't understand. Now I'm confused. I have more questions than I initially had.
You just gotta watch the series.
Neon Genesis. No, I don't know.
Anyway,
right, well,
Kaiju Blood.
Kaiju Blood. Well, I think this is a good moment of Charlie Hunnam looking up at Gypsy Danger. It's a very well put together scene because we get to learn a little bit more about Charlie Hunnam as a character. So, based on that, do you want to talk a little bit more about the characters in Uprising?
All right. Well, we got John Boyega.
Let's start with Boyega.
The just magical son that appeared that
Out
Pentecost had, yeah. Who I guess he's a fuck up.
But what? Okay, let me start by saying I loved John Boyega's acting.
Yes.
The acting in Pacific Rim was never the best.
No.
It's not like Oscar worthy. It's fine. It's serviceable for what the movie requires. So John Boyega, I think, really elevates the material.
Let me tell you this. I like John Boyega with his British accent more than John Boyega without the British accent.
But he nails an American accent. Like
he nails it. But I don't know, man. Just the British accent's a little bit better.
No, I agree. That's his natural,
Yeah.
That's how he sounds. That's
yeah.
But if you didn't know that, I think he completely nails the accent.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's harder the other way around if you're American trying to pull off a British accent. I think it works because he sounds like his father. Like I can hear the resemblance. I think he might have took some notes from this movie. How Idris Elba kind of spoke in this movie, because I know Idris Elba has a bit of an accent too. I think he loses it here. So I didn't mind his accent. I thought it was great. I loved John Boyega, his acting. I thought it was great. Why is he a fuck up? Why?
Okay, so apparently
the point of this movie, right? I forget how to pronounce her name. Mako. I think it's Mako. Idris Elba does not want her anywhere near a Jaeger.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole thing. This is his adopted daughter. He got cancer. He doesn't want her getting cancer. So why is it that Boyega, his character, is a fuck up for not also wanting to be a Jaeger pilot? Because his father was clearly against his children being one.
Now, did he get cancer directly from the Jaeger?
Yeah, it's because he had one of the earlier models, and that was before the drift compatibility bullshit.
Okay.
Where so it was one person piloting a Jaeger, and it fucked with his brain.
Okay. Here's the thing. I feel maybe I'm just making excuses or whatever, but maybe like he didn't want her to a deal because like she had her family completely fucked up by the Jaegers and seen them all die, and she got traumatized by it. Whereas in like the son was raised from the start to be like probably a Jaeger pilot. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I don't buy that at all, though.
You don't have to buy it. You just have to like the giant kaiju fights.
I do like the giant kaiju fights.
Then that's okay.
I just don't like what's in between all that.
Okay. And are you actually asking like why he doesn't want to be a pilot, or why he didn't, like what happened?
No, not so much that. They talk about that in like the first 10 minutes where, like a Saturday morning cartoon, they recap all the events last week on Pacific Rim, and he gives like a whole speech about what's happening. I bought that. It's just I didn't understand why his arc was I have to live up to my father's legacy, when his father, like, he didn't want his kids to do that to begin with, and also you didn't exist, so I'm not sure what your father wanted for you. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Well, since you brought her up, let's wait. We'll wait for that for the technical portion of it. But I didn't like the young female character. What's her name? I don't know her name, but
Kaylee. Let me look up the actress's name, because I feel like we should at least do her justice.
Yeah.
Kaylee Spaney.
Yeah. I didn't like her character. It was too bratty, too just fucking like, oh, I'm the tough girl, tough person who, actually has a heart of gold, or you know what I mean though. Like,
I know exactly what you mean. Oh, I'm a tough kid, but really on the inside I'm a little teddy bear.
And I'm hurting, and I just want somebody to care about me.
On the outside I'm a junker, and I built this Jaeger on my own. But it's really just because I have walls, and I gotta break down these walls. I didn't care for that shit at all either, man. I thought it was cool that she built her own Jaeger. I thought it was cool that her Jaeger was small as fuck, because it just differentiated like where she was at from the other people and the other pilots. but I just think it goes back to the fact that she's a kid, and where her mentality is at that age. I just don't see how that really fit in this world.
We're also
I don't
talking
know. Like,
about. Oh, go ahead.
it feels like I didn't feel like. Idris Elba gives a speech in this movie about canceling the apocalypse. You know, you can feel it. It's like, this is humanity's last stand. If we don't beat this kaiju, that's it. We're done for. And in Uprising, I didn't feel the stakes really. I didn't feel like, oh, we got to do this or else. I'm like, no, we got some kids piloting Jaegers now, and now this big kaiju just wants to climb Mount Fuji. There you go. You know what I mean? I didn't feel the gravity of the story. Like, I didn't feel like the world was at stake.
Yeah. You know what? I can definitely feel that.
And I think part of that is because they were kids. I have nothing against kids per se, given just the right story, and I just don't think they were a great fit here.
I feel like maybe if just this plot was a little more fleshed out, we wouldn't have this issue.
Maybe. It's possible. We never saw the kids doing anything like this, though. Like, maybe that would have helped. Seeing that the kids were unfit for the job, that they shouldn't be doing the job, but despite all the odds, they managed to come through anyway. But that wasn't the angle they took. I missed Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
I understand he couldn't, whatever, didn't want to. I missed his character.
I wish they at least mentioned whatever reason why he couldn't be in this movie, or
like in universe,
yeah,
where his character might have been at. Yeah, I wish so too.
At least because I get it. If they're just yeah, he's just not here at all, and he's just a regular Jaeger pilot. He's somewhere else. It's fine.
Yeah,
but they use Gypsy Avenger,
that was his fucking...
Yeah.
That was his baby. That was...
you should have, at least put reference to, yeah, the old pilot, jerking off or, do something else, Something.
There's no reference, no illusion, nothing.
Yeah.
He's just gone. Like John Boyega in this film, he just simply does not exist. And you didn't need him for the sequel. I can get it. If they didn't have a place for him, that's fine. That's... But there was nothing. If there was no reason to put him in, sure, fine, I get it. But he was our main character. He's who guided us through this first movie. So to just have him be completely absent was kind of weird. And then the fact that John Boyega takes over, and John Boyega's the one at the end who says, "We're gonna bring the fight to them." Okay, so it's not like we go through different pilots each time. I'm sure they'll get John Boyega for the lead for the third one, and then that's gonna be okay.
What if they get John Boyega and Charlie Hunnam and they both drift with each other?
If they dual lead, that would be cool. But I think if that was the case, then why not just wait for Charlie Hunnam to come back for the sequel? Why wasn't he, Scott Eastwood, talking about characters? Scott Eastwood, generic white guy in this movie. Why was he in this movie?
Yeah.
See, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. See, that's I didn't care for him at all. That could have been Charlie Hunnam, teaching the new generation of pilots or some bullshit. I don't know. But no, we get generic white guy pilot.
Speaking of generic white guy pilot, what's up with that really fucking stupid, weird love interest that, never got fully fleshed out? It was just kind of a weird love triangle thing that just kind of annoying more than anything.
I guess it's a PG-13 movie. Gotta throw in a love story somewhere. I don't know. I mean, the love story in this movie isn't the best either, but it is just simple. It's not even a love story. They don't even strictly reveal that they have feelings for each other. They don't even kiss by the end. So it's I liked that a lot because it's like, oh, it's not a love story. They're just platonic friends. But then I don't know. The new one again, I think, was just trying to be a little bit more complex than it needed to be for no reason.
Yeah, they should have pulled. They should have definitely pulled like a note from Transformers book and just made stupid dumb movie with great action scene.
Should have. I think it would have been a lot more awesomer. Awesomer. That's not a word.
Speaking of characters, I guess. What about the president of like the drone Jaeger company? Her immediate arc. She was like the scientist who was making. She was a lead like maker of the drone Jaegers.
The Japanese character, if she was Japanese, I'm not quite sure.
I don't think so, but you know who I'm talking about, though, right?
I'm not sure. I do know who you're talking about.
She's the one that pilots Scrapper at the end and like saves him.
Yeah, I think the Asian character.
Yeah.
Oh, what about her?
Like I didn't like her just like immediate like change of personality where it's just like, no, like I'm the boss lady, don't fuck with me. Sure. You know, fuck off, and then just immediately to I'm going to help as much as I can.
I don't think her character was needed at all, let alone just that arc. I don't. If you pluck her out of the movie, I don't think the movie really changes much, aside for the fact that she does help them at the end.
Yeah.
Like, and this is sad to say, I really think her inclusion was there strictly to appeal to wider Asian foreign markets. Like, because I was thinking that the whole time. Like, why? I have no problem with her ethnicity. It's just the fact that she serves no real function in the story makes me believe that was the case.
Okay. I can see that. I just feel like this movie in general appeals to like a wider Asian market because like it's like almost entirely set in Asia.
No, it does. Absolutely.
And majority of the characters on screen are Asian, I feel.
I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing.
No, I'm just I think what I wanted to say is I think that also brings it around to why I think it's going to do so well foreign.
Sure. Maybe it will. We'll have to wait and see. It is only opening weekend.
Go support this movie, yeah.
Yeah, if you like the first one, check it out. Why not? It's a fun, dumb movie. I think fun, dumb movie is the best way to describe it. You like some dumb fun? This is dumb fun.
Any other character you had an issue with?
Macau? I cannot pronounce the name for the life of me.
Yeah.
I underutilized.
They kill her off so quick.
So quick. Just.
Although I'm not gonna lie, I did love that scene where like he's reaching out for the helicopter.
And he misses.
And you can just see it scrape by, and you can just like she's like, oh.
That's sad. I wish it would have cut back to her one more time just before the explosion, because I feel like the explosion was just a tad bit abrupt. Because it happens and then it's over, and then as soon as it's over, he's back to talking to the little girl, and he's like, "Hey, you're gonna be a Jaeger," haha. Punches her on the shoulder, like, bro, your sister just died. Take a moment. I feel like the movie never fully utilized the impact of that moment, and I feel like that moment should have been saved till like way later in the film, because she shows up and I'm like, okay, hey, there's a character from the original film that kind of ties back. It ties the two films together, but then she's just gone instantly, and which goes back to my problem with Charlie Day. He's now evil, and so his character is not really the same character from the old one. Which means his chemistry with the other scientist isn't as good because now he's evil. And just there's not a good tie-in, I think, to the first movie. And the tie-ins that do exist are either like changed, or they're gone too quickly, or they're just not even acknowledged at all.
Okay. I don't know, man. It's weird. I feel like they're pulling in Transformers in the sense of like, Remember, Shia LaBeouf just was gone from being the main
He's just
character.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
And
I feel like they're going the route of the main character of the series is the movie, is the universe. You know,
what do you mean?
I feel like Charlie Day isn't the main character per se. I feel like what's his name isn't the main character. I feel like the universe, like Pacific Rim, like the universe itself is the main character, and there's a revolving cast of like actors who play the main role every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, but if that's true, then
They should
why
have
is
fleshed it out better.
flesh it out better, and then have a new main character for the third movie, but we all know it's just gonna be John Boyega again.
We don't know that for sure.
That's how are you not gonna cast John Boyega? And I don't mean that rhetorically. I mean he's a much bigger box office draw than Charlie Hunnam, and he's in the post credits scene. Like you're setting that up.
Maybe
Charlie
Boyega
Hunnam.
won't want to.
What happened?
Maybe Boyega won't want to, or he'll be contractually obligated to something else.
Well, then why put him in the post credit scene? If you're gonna set something up, why put it in the post credit scene?
Because maybe something's gonna pop up. I don't know. I don't know, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine if Marvel put Thanos in the end of that post credit scene, and we never just saw Thanos ever again.
Okay, yeah.
They're teasing the future, then that's where the sequel's heading. Imagine they make the third movie, and they don't take the fight to the precursors. You're like, what was the point of that? I don't know.
Who's that guy?
He looks familiar, right?
No, not that guy with suspenders. I mean, that Charlie Hunnam is inside of the Gypsy Danger right now, right?
Correct.
Who's that other generic white guy that's behind Pentecost?
Pentecost.
That's where we cut back to
Oh,
like the
generic white guy in this movie?
yeah.
Who is that? Let me look it up. Pacific Rim.
I mean, like, who is that guy like into the movie in general?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Because I saw him, and it reminded me of Scott Eastwood and how generic he was in the next movie. And I'm like, oh yeah, there was a generic white guy in this movie. His son is like a jerk to Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
Striker
that's-
Eureka's pilot. Yeah.
Yeah. Hercules Herc Hansen. That's his character's name, and he's played by Max Martini. Very interesting filmography. Well, here we get Mako's backstory with the crab kaiju. See, I really, you can really feel for her here, right? And I think they try to recapture this with Spaney's character, the little girl. She's not little, but the girl's character in Uprising, and I don't think it's as dramatic. When they're on the beach and her parents get stepped on, that's how they go out. They get stepped on.
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
I mean, like, it happened. I mean, I'll tell you, like,
Yeah, but did it work for you? Does it work better in comparison to this scene?
well, let me watch this scene and we'll figure out.
You suck. Yeah, it's the exact same scene. John Boyega's there yelling at her.
I guess the other one worked better. This one worked better, I feel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's gonna be Idris Elba in that pilot, in that Jaeger.
You know what I kind of wish?
What?
A prequel.
Yeah, prequels are overrated.
Yeah, but like to the early days of the Jaeger War. Or the Kaiju War. Was like Idris Elba?
I don't know. It could work. I can see how it could work. I don't know. I think we discussed this, and I can't remember for the life of me which movie. I know we've had this discussion about prequels. I just don't remember what movie we were talking about. I like moving the story forward. Boom, we're in a kaiju war. Go. Just, we're moving forward. I don't really need to see the first kaiju fight. But yeah, I can see your thought process. How Idris Elba had to kind of put everything together. I just don't think it was necessary. I guess speaking of unused post-credit scenes, there is one in this movie, right? Where Ron Perlman comes out of the kaiju's stomach.
Oh,
and it's
never.
It doesn't come back, right? How do you feel about that?
I honestly forgot about Ron Perlman until you just said it.
Yeah, because I just remembered we're coming up to his scene right now. I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this movie. I swear I was waiting for him to pop up, and he never did. Not even in the cameo.
Now I'm thinking, what movie was it that we were talking about the prequels?
I know. I don't remember for the life of me.
Oh, it might have been the Hunger Games. We were talking about like.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Panamera or whatever, Panama.
Panama, yes. The dam, the Panama Dam.
It's a canal.
Damn it! Now I look like an idiot, Ivan.
You don't need my help for that.
Don't need much help in
that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know.
I think this scene might have been why I was excited for the idea of a underground criminal world of selling Jaegers. Because I remember liking all this stuff with the underground world of selling kaiju parts. Because Ron Perlman made it look so fucking cool. And I guess I thought it would have had some connection to him. You want to tease Ron Perlman, or at least put him in a cameo. You know, that's what you do. You put him in the underground world selling illegal shit.
Yeah.
But he just never shows up.
Any other character that you had an issue with?
I guess we talked about Charlie. I talked about Charlie Day. How do you feel? Did you say how you felt about Charlie Day and his character being evil now?
Yeah, I don't like Charlie Day in this movie.
You don't like Charlie Day?
I like Charlie Day. I don't like him in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I was reading some quick bites before we started recording. Apparently, like Charlie Day played his character as if like he was in love at one point, or is in love with the other scientist guy.
Really?
Yeah. I can send you a link to the article later if you want.
Huh. I guess. Do you get that vibe when you watch the movie? I don't think that really comes across.
No, I don't really get that vibe.
I mean, they look like they're bros.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It was fuck, I don't know. I just didn't like him. It was too like skittery, you know.
He's very skittery. He's very like all over the place. I don't think I liked him when they first introduced him, but I really enjoyed the chemistry he had with the other scientist.
Yeah. When they first introduced him, he's going for like the really hardcore douchey thing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, he really does, right? Because he's like, I got a kaiju tattoo, and look at me, I like kaijus, and I'm like, dude, they kill people. Like, relax. And then the other scientist says that and puts him in check, and they kind of bounce off each other. So in the new movie, he doesn't really have the other scientist to riff with, because now he's just evil. I didn't hear about that. I liked their bromance. Now they don't got a bromance, Ivan. Maybe in the third movie, they will fall in love, and the scientist will be like, "I gotta save you, bro."
Real quick,
and did you see Charlie Day? And
did you just see? Shut up. Did you just see the resemblance to this scene into the scene in the new movie?
I totally missed the scene because I was talking about Charlie Day. He got reprimanded.
So basically,
by his father?
No, basically, Charlie Hunnam and the younger pilot of Striker Eureka got into a fight.
And John Boyega punches the other white guy in the face.
No. The young girl gets into a fight with the Russian young girl.
Oh, the girl.
And basically just did the same move where, like, he climbs up and, like, flips over and, like, gets him into an armbar.
Yeah.
And the girl did the exact same thing.
I forgot about all the teenage stuff. My brain does not want to think about the kids when I think about giant robots fighting giant monsters.
Get into robots, Shinji.
It's weird because there are a lot of little things structurally and just how certain scenes were shot that do mimic the first movie that don't feel distracting. So the fact that they would have included a very similar scene doesn't bother me.
Okay.
But it does make me compare the two scenes, obviously.
Yeah.
So by having a scene like that, I don't give a fuck about a little girl having a little tiff and a squabble with the other girl in comparison to Charlie Day getting a fight with the other guy.
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam, yeah. Too many Charlies in this movie.
Charlie Horse. Yeah. I mean, I get we can both argue that the plot and the characters weren't the strongest part of this movie.
Yeah, I could argue that everything wasn't. That's my own personal take, I guess.
No, what's another section that you had issues with? Like technical.
Yeah. You said you had a thought about some technical qualities. What did you have in mind?
Yeah. All right. First of all, there was some CGI in the background that was just absolutely garbage. Sure. One of the biggest ones for me was when they're on like the base, the rock dome or the something dome, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like a close up of like the faces of like the kids. You can just clearly see in the background like really shitty CGI workers just like moving around, and it's just like, bruh, this is so weird. Another issue is Mako's. Her voice seemed like it was like some really weird ADR going on. And I don't know if that was just her accent, but like, I felt like there's just some weird ADR or something like that going on. Where like I just feel like it wasn't her voice, like it didn't match up right. Like it felt like I was watching like a dub.
Right. Something felt off about Mako too, and I can't tell what it might have been. She plays everything very monotone in the new movie. Everything is basically one flat emotion with her.
Was it the same actress?
It was the same actress, yes. But she's like, "You're my brother. You got a pilot. You're now a pilot. I'm about to die, and you're my little brother." You know what I mean? There wasn't.
Yeah.
She didn't have a lot of range. Maybe it was how stoic she was playing the character that the dubbing didn't seem right, or maybe they did dub over it and it just didn't come across as right. I don't know. Something felt off about her too. I couldn't put my finger on it. I don't know if it was the exact issue that you had.
There's something up whenever she talked. I was like, this isn't right.
I don't know. Maybe she was sad that they killed her off right away. The CGI didn't bother me because it it had less of a budget, so that I'm sure had a factor into it. Um, but I think part of the reason why I'm sure the CGI was just as good in this movie as it was in the original film, but I think it's a little bit more noticeable because everything is in the daytime. Whereas a lot of the fighting scenes in this movie take place either at night or during like the rain or some shit. This new movie, it's like bright as day. It's some snow white backgrounds. It was everything was very crystal clear. And that was a very deliberate choice. So I guess my mind was aware going into it, knowing that everything was going to be practically set in the daytime based on the trailers, that the CGI wouldn't look as natural, and I guess I was prepared for that more.
Okay.
The fact that it was shot in daytime didn't bother me as much as I thought it would, though. Because I remember when we first talked about the trailer, I was worried that it was going to look like a Power Rangers movie. Do you remember when I said that?
Yeah, I do. And a part of me kind of feels like it did.
It did, but not in a bad way. Not in the way I expected it to, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Because it never felt... I mean, obviously it felt cartoony, but it never felt like it was campy, I guess. Like Power Rangers campy. So it didn't bother me. Because visually, talking about technical aspects, everything visually looked beautiful. There was, gorgeous color saturation. The color palette itself was nice to look at. Everything was appealing to the eye. So nothing on a visual level bothered me at all, really.
I don't know, I just had those few issues regarding, like, the CGI in that scene and the voice for Mako. It was just a little weird for me. It wasn't like anything that like completely put me off where I was just like, this is garbage, I can't, unwatchable, No, it was fine. Just a little weird.
Yeah, little minor quibbles. I don't think any of the technical aspects bothered. I guess they didn't bother me at all. The editing and the pacing I thought was nice. I thought the pacing of the movie had a nice flow to it. Like, I could see what they were doing, even though I didn't like the first half and I liked the second half better. I see how they were building towards the second half, which was more action heavy. So the flow of events didn't bother me. The direction of the action I thought was fucking fantastic. Everything in camera looked really, really, really well done. Again, you throw in 150 million. Hopefully, you do get something good.
Yeah.
See, again, at the nighttime and it's raining, CG just looks better. I don't know why that's a thing. In the dark, in rain, CGI just looks better.
What was their Jaeger's name? Something Chernobyl?
I can never remember their names. If it's not Gypsy in Danger, I don't know what the name is.
Striker Eureka?
It's not going to stick after this recording.
Oh, I hate you. Chernobyl Alpha, that's the name.
Chernobyl Alpha. Because they're Russian?
Yeah. It's also like a radio, like a nuclear reactor powered one too or something.
Oh, that makes sense.
But, yeah. Overall, I enjoy the movie. You did not.
Overall, I was disappointed. I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it. It's one of those movies where I can see, we were just talking about this off air. Sometimes you just have something just playing in the background of your TV. Yeah. And you were saying Friends is something that you and your girlfriend just kind of have on the background sometimes. And it's just good to have just there.
Yeah.
I think Uprising is one of those movies for me. I'm not going to dread seeing it again. but I'm not gonna give it my full attention next time I watch it. It's just
Yeah.
it'll be there, and it'll be occupying space and time, but it won't have my full attention. This movie,
Okay.
it has my attention. Like I almost don't want to listen to you, so that I can watch this movie.
No, yeah, that, and honestly, it's what I'm saying. Was like, I'm probably gonna rewatch this after we're done recording.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. For me, like, one of the biggest things about a movie is if I'm smiling at any point.
Sure.
And like this movie, not this Uprising, it had a moment where like they're in the middle of the kaiju fight, and I'm just grinning like from ear to ear, and I didn't realize it. Like I stopped and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this,
Yeah.
I'm smiling, like I'm enjoying myself right now, like watching this giant thing punch like a fucking kaiju. Just made me, real happy.
You were entertained.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think it is a good entertaining film. Did they have another three-armed Jaeger? In the
no,
game?
they didn't. They had a manned rig, but they
Why
didn't have a
didn't it
3-armed
three
one.
arms?
I don't know.
Because I think I was expecting to see it, and then it never came.
I think they, instead of going for the third arm, they went for like the guns that go back and forth.
Hmm. This one's pretty badass. You see, that's what I'm talking about, though. You can remember these designs. I remember the designs. I don't remember the names, but I remember the
Yeah.
designs.
You can kind of remember the designs of some of the mechs. Like you have the one that looked like a Spectre. You have the one that had the mace.
I can remember the mace. There's also a white one, maybe.
I don't know. I just like I like
There's a small
Jaegers,
one
man.
that can roll. I liked how it could roll. Maybe make like a short film in this universe that takes place in the criminal underworld with like
Yeah.
Ron Perlman.
Or maybe make a short film in this universe where there's more Jaeger fights.
Maybe
That's all I want. Just more Jaeger fights.
I'd watch the shit out of those. Because I mean, I obviously poo-pooed on the story overall, but I understand why they did some of the things they did. Because in this movie, they basically just cut off the connection between this world and the kaiju planet or universe
Yes.
or dimension, whatever you want to call it. So they kind of had a right around that. Because where would you even put a sequel? How would you? So it's interesting.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie.
You're
dude.
watching the fight.
Yes. I'm
You
sorry.
suck.
What were you saying?
I basically said that you're an awful human being,
Okay.
that I don't like you as a friend,
Okay.
and that this movie is awesome.
Dude, Chernobyl Alpha just got ass. Oh my god! Look, Chernobyl Alpha is about to. Oh, bro, it just got like fucked up.
They're dying. Do they die? I think
Jeez.
they're about
Yeah,
to die.
no, they die hardcore. Everybody dies
ooh.
hardcore.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What were you actually saying this time?
Were you ever enjoying the movie this much?
Yes.
Uprising?
Yes.
Okay. Then that's all you can ask for.
Yeah,
Wants to
honestly,
be
one of the biggest
thoroughly
things
entertained.
I enjoyed was the Jaeger on Jaeger fight early on.
Yes.
Because I remember specifically saying, like when we were watching previews, is I wanted to see Jaeger on Jaeger action,
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
and it was as epic as I thought it would be.
They were pretty badass. The one when they're in the snow was pretty
Yeah.
cool. The one where they're back in the city and he's sliding and he has to slow down and he puts two swords in the buildings. That was pretty badass.
Yeah,
The other one, there's one. I think it's a different Jaeger. I think it was white and it like jumps and it jumps in like slow motion. I was like, that's pretty cool. There's some cool stuff in here, to be sure, but it's all more action oriented.
yeah. Oh man, just gotta let me some Jaegers.
Whoa. That thing just did like a Venusaur solar beam, dude.
Oh no, they're getting electrocuted.
They gonna get got. Cause that was the thing with these kaiju's. Every new wave of kaiju's had evolved from the last fight.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening now. They have EMPs on their back, I guess.
Yeah.
Gypsy's analog.
Nuclear.
His acting's a bit wooden in this.
How so?
Not Gypsy, sir. She's analog.
Yeah.
Nuclear. Like there's nothing to that. it's just here's the line that you wrote down. I spoke it. That's what I'm saying. I like John Boyega's character because he's more charismatic than Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
He's more compelling of an actor. I understand why you would replace Hunnam as the lead. I still wish he had some form of capacity in the movie.
Well, I mean, also, like, I feel like it's coming from a character point of view. Like, okay, Charlie Hunnam, like, everybody died. He saw his brother get literally ripped across, like, out of the fucking Jaeger he was piloting. He failed to defend the wall. Probably got his mind fucked up pretty bad from having to pilot Gypsy Danger by himself, or whatever the Jaeger he had by himself for a while. Because they specifically state in the movie that like piloting a Jaeger by yourself really messes you up, like mentally. And
yeah, it makes you nosebleed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, real bad nosebleeds. So you're pretty fucked up. Well, John Boyega's character was like, yeah, my dad died 10 years ago, and I've been partying and living it up ever since, and I'm only really doing this because I want to like not go to jail.
That was his motivation, right? He just didn't want to go to jail.
And then his sister died, and he was like, oh, now it's serious time.
No, I get it. Again, I get why you don't go with Charlie Hunnam from both a story perspective and in real world being obligated, elsewhere. I still wish there was something.
No, yeah,
I still wish.
Said that.
Give him a line, give him a cameo, just reference the damn character. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So he probably still exists in universe, or maybe he died. Who knows? Don't know, bro.
Oh.
No, his dad. Ivan, he's gonna be all sad that his dad died, and he's gonna learn and grow as a character or something. He's gonna stop being a dick or something. I don't remember what happens between these two.
Oh, man.
Yeah, see, I didn't care about any of that until he said, let's do something really stupid. Now I'm like, yes, let's do that. I want to see it. I don't care about your family drama. I don't know, there's a level of, like, yeah, you want to make your story have more drama, and also, who cares, let's get back to the fighting.
I'm upset that like they dove into the precursors
Yeah.
just enough to get you interested, and then they just immediately ripped it away from you. Like, no, that's all we're gonna tell you.
It was rather random.
Yeah. I don't think they even like give them a name in this movie, don't they?
I didn't recall them being called precursors. I mean, we'll find out when we get there, I guess, but they're like, oh, the precursors. I was like, oh, you mean those aliens we saw for like 5 seconds? Is that what we're calling them now?
Yeah, the precursors, they're terraforming the planet.
Oh, okay. That's what we're going with. Did you want to see more of the precursors? Or how did you feel about that?
I definitely want to see more, but then again, like you said, I'm more of the prequel type of person where I want to see the universe more fleshed out and
Okay.
more fights. But and you're contrary to that, where you just want to let's continue on from here.
It's very true. I would have liked to see more precursors in Uprising. I don't know where you would have done it, but I'm sure you could have figured out a way.
Yeah.
What's their deal? They conquer planets and they take over
Something like
planets?
that, yeah.
and then they say YOLO onto the next planet?
Yeah, after they strip it of everything they need or something. For some reason, I even want to say that they sell the planets.
Huh.
I don't
So
know
they're
why.
like Saiyans?
Kind of, yeah. Oh, Elbow Rocket.
Elbow Rocket, bro. There were so many of these in the next movie.
Wow.
Right in the face! Yeah, direct hit to the face. That's all I want to see in these movies. It's so great. But these movies have a great sense of scale. You can feel how big the Jaegers and the kaiju are, whereas in a Transformers movie, let's say, you have no idea what the fuck is where and what's going
Yeah.
on and how big or how small something is or someone is and what's going on and explosions and what's happening.
It's like 1 second Optimus Prime is 10 feet tall, and the next he's like the size of a fucking building.
Bumblebee can't talk until he can and what's going on. Optimus is evil until he's not.
And then he can't talk in every movie until he can at the end.
Yeah, it's like, what? What's going on? Explosions. Not a lot of explosions here. A lot of punching. Really enjoying it.
I feel like another thing I like about this movie more so than Transformers, because arguably you can say that they're pretty similar, giant robots fighting,
Obviously.
is this one seems a little more important or close to home, I would say. And you might be
How so?
yeah, I'm gonna say you might think that's stupid as fuck, but in Transformers, it's an alien race that came here, and they brought their fight here,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
and the aliens are fighting for us, and we're just kind of helping out in the background. Where in this movie, it's like, no, they came here to fuck us up, and we pulled ourselves up and made the Jaegers and started fighting.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. The least interesting part of the Transformers movies are the human characters. Because who gives a fuck? People just want to see giant robots.
Yeah.
In these movies, you do care about the human characters, as poorly written or fleshed out as they may be, because they are making a stand against something. And you can feel that. And also there's giant robots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these are what the Transformers movies should have been, more or less.
Yeah, honestly, it's like that feeling of watching a Saturday morning cartoon.
I mean, because it's like the Autobots and the Decepticons are kind of just having their tiff and their squabble, and it just happens to be on Earth.
Yeah. Like, it could have happened on any other planet.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have mattered in the slightest where. Or to whom. This, it's like, oh shit. We gotta fucking fight for our lives. We only got these giant robots. Let's punch them in the face. I think this is my favorite scene coming up, when Gypsy Danger's gonna fucking stroll up into the city, just hauling a huge ass ship like it's a baseball bat.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that scene's badass.
It's just like, I'm coming for you, bitch.
Just like strutting down the fucking sidewalk. Got a strut and everything. Got a fucking giant ass boat. Like it's nothing. Good sense of scale.
Oh.
Ew. That's disgusting, but it's a beautiful use of color.
Oh yeah,
Everything's like neon and gorgeous looking.
I do like that about the kaiju designs.
Yes. It's unique. It's interesting. Ah, there he is, Ivan. The music. This fucking song rocks with Tom Morello on the fucking guitar.
Yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. Badass.
You know what though?
What?
I kind of wish they had some little bit of Daft Punk in here too.
Daft Punk?
Yeah, honestly,
Why?
I feel like Daft Punk would have been able to do really well.
Maybe. Sure.
Like D-Rez. Like you tell me like something like D-Rez wouldn't have been good in this.
I could see it.
Almost have like that same guitar riff, but you know it was like digital shit. I don't know what to say.
They only did the one soundtrack, right?
Yeah, for Tron.
Yeah. I'd like to see them tackle more. They can do it.
Yeah.
They're talented enough. When fuck, was their last album Random Access Memories?
Yeah, it was.
Jesus, that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a bit. But I looked them
There
up right
hasn't
now,
been any
actually.
like updates or anything, has there been? On when they're releasing any new music?
I don't think so.
Was there a long gap between Random Access Memories and the last thing they did? If you technically don't count the Tron soundtrack?
Well, let me look up. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't count the Tron soundtrack, then you have Human After All, which is back in 05.
And then 2013.
Yep.
Damn. It is a big gap. So we might have to wait a couple more years.
Unfortunately.
It's a good duo. Daft Punk.
Yeah. They're getting old too.
They are.
Let's
They were
see.
around during the 90s? Or was that just the early 2000s?
No, I think they're around during the 90s. Let's see. Yeah, the first album was back in 97.
No shit.
And they're both in their 40s or mid 40s, dude.
Yeah, they've been in the music world for a bit. They're French, right?
Yeah.
Have they ever revealed their face? Or
I'm sure, yeah. Like, people know, like, what they look like, I guarantee.
yeah. Around the World came out in 97, huh? Round the world, around the world.
Did Banksy's face ever get revealed?
No, I don't believe so. Banksy's whole thing is that no one knows what his face looks like.
Yeah.
I think we would have heard about it.
Yeah.
If we
There's
saw
even
his
that
face.
whole, like, conspiracy theory that Banksy's actually a group of artists.
I believe it. All right, now here, Ivan, this is when I knew I loved this movie. Is when they're fucking flying up in the sky, and they're out of options, but no, there's still something left, and they pull out a goddamn sword out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and they slice the kaiju in half, and they fall to the earth, and it's beautiful and it's glorious, and I've never seen anything more epic.
See, I like how they bring the sword out as like a last resort in this movie, but well, I didn't like. I mean, but in like Uprising, it's like the sword's like one of the main weapons they have. Where it's like everybody has a fucking sword. That one Jaeger even had two swords.
Well, I mean, obviously they're useful.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me because that would feel like I remember when this first came out, and I remember people talking about this in my class. They were asking that question: why did they wait so long to pull out the sword? Why don't more Jaegers have swords? Boom! Everyone had a sword. Like it made sense to me naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The future progression of the Jaegers. Sword's useful. Okay, everyone gets a sword.
Okay.
But I understand what you mean about using it more sparingly, so that when they do pull it out, it feels more special.
Also, I guess another issue I had, and this is something that like I just thought to myself. It wasn't like this is bullshit. I can't watch. It was more so a little small thing.
Yeah.
Is like when they're launching with the booster rockets strapped into their back. Like, there's a moment where everybody's like, "Oh fuck!" Like the structural integrity is getting compromised. We might like just fall apart in mid-flight, right?
Yeah.
And then once they like actually get up there, everybody has like a sigh of relief. They're like, "It worked." And when they're like going to space and they're falling down, they're just like, "It's fine. It's fine. Structural integrity doesn't matter. There's warnings going off. No, it's fine. We're gonna make it. We're gonna punch this motherfucker in half."
And then they did.
They did.
Wasn't
yeah.
it awesome?
It was. I loved it.
But, yeah, I know what you're saying. If structural integrity is a thing, then if it's not a thing, then why mention it? And if it is a thing, then why ignore it?
I love Jaegers.
They're awesome. Who wouldn't want a Jaeger? They saved the day, Ivan, until they didn't.
Oh shit.
Da na 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 na. Da na 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 da. Buenet. Da na na. I've never seen a sword. Holy shit, you had a sword this whole time? Why doesn't everyone have a sword? That's what he should have said. That's what the line of dialogue should have been.
Did it also kind of freak you out a little bit that they had just a human brain in a jar as like the test plug?
It freaked me out. Like, I wasn't freaked out. I thought it was weird.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I thought a lot of shit they did was weird.
True.
Charlie Day having a fucking brain in his fucking room like it was his lover was very weird.
They didn't really like go back to the fact that generic white guys like co-pilot just was like, "No, I got a better offer doing private sector shit. Goodbye."
Nah. Just happened.
Yeah.
Scott Eastwood. I think that's Clint Eastwood's son.
Hmm.
Not as good as an actor, I think.
Let him hone his craft.
I think he's had enough time. I'm gonna Google what else he's been in. He was in The Fate of the Furious. I remember that. He was generic white guy replacing Paul Walker's character.
Oh yeah.
He was in Suicide Squad. Probably as generic white guy. He was in Fury. Holy shit. One of our favorites. Probably just as a generic white guy. And Gran Torino. That's the one with Clint Eastwood.
What was I gonna say?
Yeah, he's had time. I don't think he's that great. Oh yeah, there's a little baby inside of the kaiju, Ivan.
Oh, baby kaiju.
It was a mama kaiju, and there's a little baby kaiju in the mama kaiju.
Now, in regards to a completely different movie and a completely different genre and everything, just random question I just thought of. Has there been any news on Mad Max, the sequel?
None. Absolutely silent.
Is that still like happening, or is it like in like
I
production
know you.
hell?
I know the last time we talked about it, I don't remember if this was on camera or not. The last thing that I heard was that George Miller was in a lawsuit against Warner Brothers because of a financial dispute
Oh,
over
like $7,000.
Max. Yeah, I forget what the number was, but it was a very trivial amount. Warner Brothers wasn't paying him, and he was like, "Hey, you should pay me." And this wasn't even that long ago. This might have been just last year, and I mean like late last year. So George Miller and Warner Brothers might not have the best relationship right now. And that being said, Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron were rumored to not really get along on set.
Yeah, they really didn't like each other apparently.
Yeah. So, in all likeliness, a sequel isn't gonna happen, or at the very least, it's gonna take a long time to happen.
What a shame.
That was a great movie.
Yeah. That's another one of those movies where I just have playing in the background constantly. See, I have like a list of things I have in the background just constantly playing.
Yeah.
While I'm doing other stuff like playing games or homework or whatever, housework.
Like the same movies that you just play over and again?
Yeah, there's like a list of movies like Fury's one of them. Like you just talked about that. Mad Max is one of them. Friends just in the background playing.
Yeah.
The Ready Player One audiobook's also in the background just playing all the time.
That book was much weirder for me to listen to on audiobook than it was when I read it.
Really?
So I told you my brother is now listening to the audiobook in preparation for the new movie. So I was in the car with him as
sorry, I just inhaled some of my hair.
Ooh, that sounds nasty.
Yeah. Oh, also great topic to talk about because Ready Player One premieres this week.
It does in less than 7 days.
Yeah.
Can't count. Thursday. It comes out Thursday night if you want to get technical. So it is less than a week. Oh shit. I'm not ready, like my body. But I remember reading it and going, "Oh, hey, I get that reference. Oh, hey, look at that reference. Oh my god, I get that reference." And listening to my brother listen to it was weird because it was just the characters going back and forth. It was like chapter 3 when they were in H's basement virtually or whatever. And all it was the characters going back and forth. Well, I know this and this reference better than you know that and that reference. And the other characters going, nuh-uh, I know that and so reference better than this and that reference. And it was just
when they're
very
talking
awkward.
Fuck, what's his name?
IROC?
IROC, yeah, they're talking about him and he brings up Sword Quest. And
that was a very awkward exchange to listen to.
Really?
It just felt like, okay, Ernest Cline, I get it. You know references. Because the next chapter was explaining the world. And that I remember liking. I remember like, oh, wow, this is how James Halliday created the Oasis. And this is all what went into it. And this is how it affected everything. And that I was like, wow, this is very interesting. Like, I wonder if this is what would happen in the real world. And then you get back to the characters going, this and Star Wars and Star Trek and Galaxy Quest and Battlestar Galactica and R2-D2's a DJ. And it was very strange.
Now, is that more so like an issue with the source material or most are just like you don't like hearing it?
Just hearing it felt very awkward because it felt like Ernest Cline awkwardly trying to shoe in as many references as possible.
Okay, I can see that. See, I don't know. I personally prefer the audiobook version just because of Will Wheaton's voice.
He does read it really well.
Yeah. There's a lot of pretty good audiobooks, honestly. He's in a few.
Yeah.
I'm actually currently listening to one. It's called Agent to the Stars. I think it's Scalzi, John Scalzi. Basically, alien race shows up,
Yeah.
and they hire a talent agency to kind of promote them. Not talent, like a movie agency or like an agent, basically,
Uh huh.
because they want to like seem pretty good to the human race, and not just like pop out and be like, "Hey, we're aliens," and have everybody freak out and try to kill them. But yeah,
Interesting. Is it good?
yeah, I liked it. Short.
Was that narrated by Will Wheaton or
Yep.
just a different audio?
No, Will Wheaton, man,
Nice.
does a lot of science fiction books.
Yeah, he's very nerdy and very just into like just very culturally nerdy stuff.
Yeah, I think he also did Ernest Cline's second book that came out a year or two ago.
I believe it.
Let me see. I want to just confirm that real quick. Yeah, he also did Armada. It's very similar tones.
Yeah, I believe you told me. I know. I know. I think you said you generally liked it, but it was definitely disappointing in comparison to Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready Player One premiering at South by Southwest. How excited are you?
Super excited. Because I don't think we talked about this before on camera or on mic, but I was pretty scared. Just because like I realized this movie isn't gonna be the book,
Yeah.
and I kind of trusted that, and I completely accepted that. It's fine. I'm okay with that. But I was still scared it's gonna be a shitty movie.
Yes.
And
Just in general.
yeah, and just seeing all the just the hype and like the reaction from the fans loving it and everything from South by Southwest gave me a lot of hope that yeah, this isn't going to be the same movie as the book, but it's still a pretty good movie.
Yes, and that's all I want. And after hearing all the hype from South by Southwest, and now after listening to my brother listen to the audiobook, I definitely think I'm going to enjoy the movie more. Just because I think visually all of the references will play out a lot more smoothly than they do in the book. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It won't be like Ernest Cline and then here's a reference that references to a reference in a reference. You'll just see them on screen and then they'll move on with the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it'll just flow a bit more naturally. Which is why movies, man, they're so great. They're not the thing, they're just adaptations of it.
I don't know, man.
Talking about Ready Player One, we're so excited. We missed the canceling the apocalypse speech, Ivan. That's like the main selling point of the movie. There's also a scene in Uprising where John Boyega has to give a speech to the little cadets.
Oh yeah, and he
How, like-
references like his father's speech about canceling the apocalypse.
How anticlimactic is that speech in comparison to this one?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the comparison, like the scenes that they do are fine. Just in comparison, they're just weak. Come on, little kids, you gotta pilot that Jaeger.
Come on,
And
the
you
beach
got-
house soldiers.
And then we gotta fucking cancel the apocalypse so that we can live. Like holy shit, they're just Elba.
Literally, I feel like like John Boyega was just like, look, y'all suck. We know y'all
Yeah.
suck. Y'all know y'all suck. But this is all we have, so let's try not to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah, don't have little kids be Jaegers. Just don't do it. Just let's not do that for the third movie.
Get in the fucking robot, Sinji. But yeah, you know, honestly, I'm starting to get a little happy now. Just because
I'm much more excited just this week than I was say last week.
for Ready Player One.
Yeah.
See, okay, I'm excited for a different reason. I was gonna go back to Ready Player One, but I'm happy that we have so many good movies coming, or not good movies, but like movies I'm excited for coming out back to back now. I feel like we're definitely getting
Yes,
out of
that's
the
true.
like the first quarter doldrums.
Absolutely. We're getting ready for that summer season, Ivan. It's coming up. As soon as Avengers kicks off, summer, it's just going to be nothing but movies, movies, movies.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I'm kind of upset. Like, I try to buy because I for big movies like this. Well, not for this one, but like for Ready Player One and other big name movies, I tend to buy my tickets in advance.
Yeah, just to get your,
Yeah, my seat because the good AMC around me is reserved seating.
Yeah.
So I went and bought my ticket for Ready Player One. I was like, hey, let me just check out some tickets for Avengers while I'm at it too. All the tickets for like all the show times were pretty much filled up.
For Avengers? Or for both?
Avengers. No, Ready Player One,
Yeah.
I think I was the first one to buy a seat in that showtime.
No shit.
Well, then again, I also got like a Thursday 7 p.m. show, so
Yeah.
it's not really the prime
That's
time.
when
In
you got
a
both.
college town, too, where it's like a...
How about that new Avengers trailer, though?
Yeah?
I like shit my pants.
How about that new Deadpool trailer, though?
That was pretty good, too. My favorite part is when it cuts to a blank screen that says, from the studio that brought you 27 dresses. because Fox sucks. But because it's just so meta, Ivan. Apparently, there's been some rumors that the movie isn't testing very well.
Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're just rumors, so you never know.
Yeah.
But they are out there. It's interesting because I mean, for one thing, the people who saw the movie obviously had to sign like non-disclosure agreements because that's what you do when you go see early previews. And so the guy who originally posted the rumors didn't see it. He heard it from a guy who saw it. So, take that as you will. Because you don't exactly know what may or may not have gotten lost in translation from a guy who saw it to someone who didn't. Also, it's just a test screening. Obviously, they do the test screenings so that they can see what's working and what's not. So
And they can
that
edit it by...
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried, honestly.
What did you think about the trailers? What do you think about the overall look of Deadpool 2?
Honestly, I don't know why, but I feel like there's just so many other properties that are coming out right around the same time that
There are.
that all my attention's kind of drawn off to that. Because Deadpool it's a movie I liked, and I appreciate what they did, and I appreciate what it stands for. Having an R-rated super comic book movie. But it's just not something I'm too like hyped up about.
Sure, I feel
Like,
that.
am I gonna watch it? Yeah. Am I gonna watch it opening weekend? Most likely.
But your level of excitement right now isn't just there yet.
Yeah, give me like a few weeks until like before the race. Give me like a week or two before release, and I'm sure I'll be more excited for it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Just right now, I'm kind of diverting stuff more towards what's in front of me.
Yeah. I was I'm glad they did release this trailer because before this trailer we didn't have a good idea of what the story was going to be. But the previous two trailers were him impersonating Bob Ross, and that wasn't really a trailer. That was more like a montage of scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what's this movie gonna be about? And then we got the other trailer where they make fun of the VFX in Justice League, and that technically wasn't a full trailer either. And I was worried. I'm like, okay, when are we going to learn what this movie is actually about? And then I saw that trailer when, what's his name? Josh Brolin, he has the green arm.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why is VFX not finished?
It's not
I saw
like
that
a
trailer.
fucking mustache.
Yeah. Great joke. I saw that trailer in a theater, and at the end of the trailers, the theaters usually play the title of the movie. And Deadpool didn't even have one. And I thought to myself, this movie doesn't have an official fucking title yet. Because the official title was never Deadpool 2 yet. It was Untitled Deadpool Sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we're just a couple fucking months out. When are we going to know what this movie is about and what the actual title is? Well, it looks like the title is just Deadpool 2. And it looks like the story is Cable comes back from the future and is on the hunt for a kid. And to try and stop him, Deadpool forms the X-Force. Got it. I'm on board. I have a general idea about what the story is now. I don't feel like I have to be worried anymore.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if, like, maybe Fox would miss the mark at this point, but...
It's certainly possible.
Yeah. I like how they just skewer the kaiju and then burn his face off.
Dude, they fucked that kaiju up. He's still trying to fight.
You know, I think we already said this, but I just want to say it again. I do love, like, the kaiju Jaeger fusion from the second movie.
Yeah, it's interesting. They have very interesting looks.
Now, at this point, I'm like interested to see if we're gonna have any like biological, technological fusions in the third one.
Through the thing.
Yeah.
He cuts right through. He cuts him in half. Ivan.
Oh.
That's awesome. There was never a moment like that for me in the new movie where I was like, yes, oh my god, that. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I was never like fangirl screaming like, oh my god. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely had a few of those moments.
Well, then that's good because then it worked for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think what it boils down to, like what you said, like, did you dislike it? Not entirely. Would you rewatch it? Probably. Like, would you give it your full attention? No, but you'll still rewatch it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think the best way for me to describe it is that it's not necessarily a bad film, but I was just disappointed by it in general. And I would probably watch it again. Because the second half is a lot more fun than the first half.
Hmm. Oh, is his knee all fucked up?
No. I do miss the Gypsy of Danger. The Gypsy Danger.
Yeah.
I was like, where is the Gypsy Danger? Oh yeah, it blew the fuck up.
See, honestly, that's why I'm thinking. Like, I wonder if there's gonna be like a biological techno fusion again, but like on the human side for if Pacific Rim 3 ever comes out.
Yeah. And also, tell my son I love him. No, nothing.
Are they in Striker Eureka, or
Who? I think Pentecost is.
who's with them?
I think Pentecost might be by himself.
Well, then,
Or you know what? It might be that son, the kid.
or the dad.
Yeah.
No, the
it's
dad's
one
hurt.
or the other. I forget which one. No, the dad's there. So the son. Yeah, it's definitely the son.
And they're in Gypsy Danger.
Correct.
So then, where is Charlie Hunnam and Mako in? Are they in Striker Eureka?
No, Charlie Hunnam and Mako are in the Gypsy Danger.
Oh, okay, and then they're in Striker Eureka.
Yeah, you just had it flipped.
Okay.
Because they're about to blow up so that they can kill the kaiju, so that Gypsy Danger can go through the drift, so that they can blow up the precursors.
Oh, they blew the fuck up.
Yeah, that really blew the fuck up. You would just think that in his final goodbye, he might have wanted to include something about his son somewhere.
No, he hated his son. Remember?
Yeah, he never wants to acknowledge his existence. for not wanting to be a Jaeger pilot,
Yeah.
even though he'd probably be 10 years old at this point. Look, I'm confused. It doesn't matter.
I think he said something along the lines of like, you're not, you shouldn't be a Jaeger pilot. You should be my son. Fuck you.
Fuck you. I disown you as my son. Until you find the solace to be fine with that. It would make sense to implement the kaiju thing, because that's how they get through the drift.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'd be more interested in good Jaegers infused with kaiju technology than evil Jaegers with kaiju technology. I just think that'd be just a more interesting story to tell. I guess the part where they go into the drift and they blow up the precursors reminds me of the end of Independence Day, where they go to the alien ship and they blow up the aliens. You really only see the aliens for like a split second. And I guess technically they did that with the sequel, where it's been like 20 years since the original film, but now humanity has infused alien tech with their tech. It's an interesting concept, only that movie sucks.
True.
So maybe they could have done it better with
Wait, Independence Day?
The sequel?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's awful.
Okay, I think the first one was like, oh.
I don't care for the first one either.
Oh.
It's a very cheesy 90s movie, and it's one of those things where I feel like people who like it because of nostalgia.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
I tried watching it, I think, last 4th of July. I was like, no, I do not like this. There's the guy, and he has a voice, and he talks like this, and he's really annoying, and he's from New York, and he talks like this, and his voice is really down here, and it's really annoying. Hate that guy.
Did she pass out?
I think she's about to. She should have been like, anyone can fall, but I'm falling for you. And then Charlie Hunnam should have been the one, I'm sorry, I don't see you that way. It would have been the first time, Ivan, a guy friend-zoned a girl. It would have been perfect.
Once again, I think it shows like how well we like a movie when we're both just silent and watching the movie.
Yeah, I want to see this. Did you see those colors, man? They're fucking euphoric.
Yeah.
You're fucking having a psychedelic trip over here. I was excited to see Stephen DeKnight take over the sequel. But now I'm wishing maybe they would have kept Guillermo del Toro. I mean, does the fact that Guillermo del Toro made this movie influence your enjoyment on it at all?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's... How do you feel about Del Toro as a director, just in general?
I'm not too familiar with a lot of his work, so I don't think I can like properly.
Never seen Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah, it was a while ago though.
It's been a while since it was released. He's very more artistic.
Yeah.
His movies have a lot of layers, which is surprising considering this movie in general. Never seen the Hellboys?
I saw the first one a while ago as well. I know he also
Same.
just won for The Shape of Water, right?
Yeah, just won Best Picture. I just wonder what his sequel would have looked like. I know they don't like to greenlight his sequels because he gets way too fucking expensive. But I wonder if it would have stood simple, if he would have tried to make it more darker and complex. I wonder if what his ideas were will ever be, released or whatever. I'm glad that the son died and not the father.
Why?
Because if the son died, then he's like, oh, now I can't be a douche for my father. And I just don't like those arcs. They're just like the way.
You know what was one scene that was kind of like weird or just kind of fucked up in my opinion?
In this movie?
No, in the Uprising.
Uprising? What?
You know when like that one kid dies?
Yeah.
And they just show like this guy, like this child's hand, like bloody, like mangled hand, just kind of sticking up out like the piling rig.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, damn, that's rough.
Just a shot.
Yeah. See, like the Russian kid, just like he didn't make it. His organs are smeared on me. It's pretty rough.
Are you saying in a good way or like?
In a damn, that was a little more darker than I would have thought for this movie.
See, that's what I wish though. I do wish it was more simple, but I do wish it was darker in general.
See, I'm okay with that. Except I think in this application it was pretty bad because it goes from like being funny, simple, trading kaiju parts in the black market for Oreo cookies or Jaeger parts to here's a child's mangled bloody hand like sticking you out.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. Because if it was more darker in tone in general, then the scene wouldn't have felt out of place.
Yeah, it would have been like, oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And not so much that it's fine, but so much as that makes sense for this universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that just goes back to my points where the kids don't really feel like things are at stake, and the brightness of everything doesn't really make everything feel dark. I don't know. Just very weird artistic choices. I don't know, man. I like The Empire Strikes Back. I like when the sequel is just darker and it really challenges the characters. I'm gonna give you a platonic hug because you're my friend. Dun 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 dun. This theme song is badass. Like, I love this theme song. Okay. The closest I came to screaming like a little fangirl was when this song started playing in the movie, in Uprising. Because I was like, yes, stupid, dumb, awesome action.
I'm not even gonna lie. Seeing this movie kind of made me want to go back and watch Uprising again.
Maybe you should. I mean, if you enjoyed it, by all means.
No, like, honestly, like, if I have an afternoon free, I might go in for, like, their Tuesday special. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Go for it. Support it. I mean, you obviously want to see a sequel. You gotta support it. I guess that wraps about everything up, right, Ivan?
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our commentary track on Pacific Rim. If you liked this movie, go ahead and check out the sequel. Ivan enjoyed it. I liked it, but generally was disappointed, but still think that, it deserves some support. It's better than a lot of shitty movies out there.
If you have a giant robot fix your a giant robot thing you're really wanting to fix,
you have a thirst for giant robots fighting giant monsters, and you need that thirst to be quenched.
Yeah, but you just can't like justify the shittiness of Transformers.
Yes. Go ahead and check out Pacific Rim Uprising. If you liked this commentary track, you can find us on YouTube, on Bandcamp, on SoundCloud, and on iTunes. Whatever fits your podcast commentary needs, we are on all 4 of those platforms. The best way you can help us continue these commentary tracks is by donating to us at Bandcamp. It is not necessary. It just helps us out when putting these commentary tracks together. If you'd like to reach us, ask us a question, recommend a commentary track that we do, you can reach us at notthebestmedia@gmail.com. Ivan, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, of course, Ready Player One's coming out in less than a week, so we'll probably be doing a 80s movie, you'd say?
Yeah, I'd say that's appropriate.
We'll do something,
Maybe something Spielberg?
Something Spielberg or something referenced in the book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, definitely excited.
Something fun. Something light and fun in 80s. Yeah, comment, suggest, like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is, whatever media you're following us on. Go ahead and do that thing. You can find my own personal reviews on YouTube at David Lopez Reviews. You can follow me on Twitter at David L Reviews. And I guess that wraps everything up, huh, Ivan?
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We very much appreciate it. My name's David.
I'm Ivan.
And we're not the best podcast. We're not the best, but we're okay. All right. All right, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.